ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामविद्रयवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्।
In the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna didn't merely urge mighty Arjuna to fight. He urged him to rise for Dharma, for righteousness. Through the ages, whenever Dharma faltered, it was upheld again, not always by warriors, but by those committed to truth, justice, and inner strength. As Rama, Dharma ruled with compassion. As Krishna, Dharma led with wisdom. And in every age since, Dharma has worn many robes of sages, reformers, and guardians of the law. Even today, in the age of Kali Yuga, the Lord's mission continues. It lives on quietly through those who uphold the law not just in word, but in conscience. Swami once said, "There is only one religion, the religion of love, and only one law, the law of Dharma." Among those few who walk this sacred path is one whose silence speaks louder than verdicts, whose presence invokes reverence beyond authority, and whose judgments restore not just order but faith. Her journey is not just one of legal triumphs, but of spiritual tenacity, forged in discipline, humility, and service. Her gavel echoes not only in halls of justice, but in the hearts of those seeking fairness and truth. There exists a rare confluence where intellect bows to inner wisdom and authority surrenders to compassion. Where every judgment is more than a legal decision, it is a prayer, answered for those waiting to be heard. From the grassroots benches to the high courts of our land, she has carried Swami's message that Dharma is not an ancient idea, it is a way of life, a living principle, a harmony between the head, heart, and hand. She embodies Swami's ideal that law without love is tyranny, but justice with compassion is transformation. And in today's world, she shows that Dharma can be strong and gentle, firm and fair all at once. Be it the lanes of legal learning or the highest seats of judgment, she has been more than a judge. She has been a guide, a mentor, and a seeker of truth. In a world that needs fewer rules and more righteousness, fewer speeches and more silence rooted in clarity, she stands as a torchbearer of moral courage and inner transformation. A judge, a teacher, a seeker, and above all, a devotee. Presenting Honorable Justice Ananya Bandopadhyay.
As the echoes of Dharma resound through time, from ancient kingdoms to the courtrooms of today, we are reminded that true justice is not merely delivered, it is lived. And today, we are fortunate to have among us one such individual who has been bestowed with the eternal responsibility to uphold Dharma, Justice Ananya Bandopadhyay. Om Shri Sairam. My name is Anand Daikat, a student of the NLP batch of 2025 from the state of West Bengal. Justice Ananya, an alumni of the University of Calcutta, completed her LLM with distinction and went to practice law for nearly 12 years. grounding her knowledge in lived experience and service. In the prestigious direct recruitment examination for higher judicial services in West Bengal, she secured the first position in the written round, a testament to her legal acumen and dedication to the system she now helped shape. She served as the additional district and session judge in South 24 Parganas and Siliguri, and the district judge of Uttar Dinajpur and West Midnapur, and was called upon to lead not once but thrice as the director of the West Bengal Judicial Academy, nu- nurturing the minds and hearts of future jurists. In a rare confluence of responsibility and trust, she simultaneously served as the Registrar General of the Calcutta High Court and the Director of the Judicial Academy, a role demanding not only intellect but immense administrative clarity and grace. On May of 2022, she was elevated as an additional judge of the Calcutta High Court and was confirmed as a permanent judge in February 2024. Justice Ananya was recently blessed with the divine opportunity to deliver a powerful and profoundly spiritual keynote address at the Sri Sathya Sai Global Mahila Conference 2025. We welcome Dr. Gopi Krishna Pidarthala, our convener at the Sri Sathya Sai National Leadership Program for Self Transformation, to share a few words before we hear our speaker for the evening. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ananda. My dear children, Sairam to all of you. It's a lovely Sunday evening, and let me tell you, it's only very recently that I had the opportunity of meeting Justice Ananya and Prashant and William when she was there for the Mahila conference. The few words of interaction that I had in Shanti Bhavan with her made me realize how intellectually rich she is in terms of love of Swami, the aspects of what Swami has taught humans in this world, and how she's been following the words of Swami and being a Balvika student of the Satyasai organizations. I think that is the greatest degree that one could get in life, despite whatever positions you achieve in life. Being a Balvika's student and Swami's student itself is the greatest thing. I'm sure that our talk will bring in a lot of new learnings to us, and especially in a world where Dharma is slowly declining. I'm sure that her words of wisdom, especially to you youngsters, most of you are in a world where we say normally we are in a concrete jungle, and we sometimes don't know what is right, what is wrong. We don't get into the decision making. I think with the blessings of Swami, Justice Saranya will throw a lot of light on these aspects of how to lead a life. And the topic that also Bhagwan has chosen to given her is about Mama Dharma. And thank you, Justice, for being here this evening. And I'm sure that Swami will bless you profusely, and all the children will get really new learnings in their life and get a lot of enlightenment of how to go forward in their lives. With these few words, I hand it over to you, Ananda, for further proceedings. Jai Sai Ram.
A judge, a teacher, a seeker, and above all, a humble instrument of Dharma. Brothers and sisters, please welcome Honorable Justice Ananya Bandopadhyay.
Sairams to all of you. At first, my incessant love and pranam to Bhagwan Baba for giving me yet another opportunity to be amongst you. The topic that was given to me uh, raised my goosebumps, I can tell you this. I received the message from Swati ma'am nearly at about 1:07 a.m. in the night. I was still awake. I saw it at 1:15, and it just shook me. because my mother, throughout her lifetime, as long as she was alive, used to tell me whenever I was a bit disturbed and I used to crib for certain things or I was not very satisfied at certain things. So I used to tell her, what is this happening? If, according to my conscience, I was doing the right thing, then why there was no reciprocity to it? Why the reaction all around? Why the result did not reciprocate my feelings? My mother told me, you are doing your dharma. In Bengali, it says, she used to tell me, Tumi tomar dharma korcho. Tumi means you, tomar means your, dharma means dharma, as all of you know. Korcho means doing. You are doing your dharma. So don't accept anything in return. You should not expect anything in return. Accept whatever comes in your way. I had been an obedient child from my childhood, I can say. I don't remember having asked my parents or being very, very, very notorious or naughty or whatever you can call a child. But yes, I completely surrendered myself to the will of my mother. That time, of course, I was not aware of the Divine Mother, but my mother played an immense role in my life, like every mother does. As far as I'm concerned, she had been my friend, my soulmate, and a strength which was a root cause for whatever I could do in my life to have been my support system, instrumental in encouraging me, giving me the confidence. Yes, you can do it. Somehow or the other, she was the only person to whom I always listened to. Otherwise, I had my own ways of thinking. Whatever I felt right, I used to do it, whether people acknowledged it or not. Barring, of course, what my mother wanted. So I was a bit taken aback at having been given this topic. Now, I have been told the participants here are all students. And in this age of dichotomy, I might say, because the virtues and the values that you are told to pursue is somewhat different as to what you perceive. There is a constant inner conflict. You can see people not so virtuous, not following, as we know, what are we supposed to follow, raising greater heights. One gets the inclination to follow the same route. Okay, fine. If through deceptiveness, if through deceit, if through propitiating others, if through condescending others, and of course, resorting to unfair means one can flourish, that's the easiest way out. Because in order to follow the principles of Satya, Dharma, Prem, Ahimsa, and Shanti, as Swami has taught us, one finds that there is some kind of a stumbling block, a spanner. There are difficulties one has to surmount. There are situations one has to grapple, testing times, conflicting situations, where you have to fight with your inner conscience and the outer circumstances. It becomes very difficult. Then what one can do? What is the path one should follow? I can relate to certain incidents in my life later on. But first of all, let us see what Mama Dharma actually signifies. Now, the text of Bhagavad Gita starts with the word Dharma and ends with the word Mama. Now, both these words taken together portrays the real essence of the Gita. That's, in my perception, leading one's life according to the principle of Dharma, and that is what Gita is all about. In a very simplistic term, if I may say, it's the purpose of life to return to your source. Now, what is the source and why should we return to the source? The source is the Almighty from where we have come, and is the goal and the objective is to return to the source and merge with the same. Now, when we are entering this life, we are coming empty-handed. We are not bringing anything with us. Similarly, when we are leaving this world, we are not taking anything along with us. So this span of life is different for different people. There can be so many questions, if you ever think about, that a baby is born, it's stillborn baby that is there. So then why was the baby conceived? If the baby had to be born as not alive, what is the conception behind it? We never know, because it's the will of the Almighty. Now, for us believers, we completely surrender our thought, deed, and action to be dominated, to be dictated, to be ordained by Baba. But the ones who are not believers, for them, they also have their own perception, and we should respect that too. Unless and until they resort to certain not so virtuous lifestyle, both are same. Whether we believe in Swami, believe in God, or the others who don't. We are here to respect everyone for their thought process, for their lifestyle, unless and until it does not contradict, conflict to the basic virtues upon which the foundation of our life is maintained. As I said, that we are governed, we always feel that we have Swami with us. Whatever we do, we surrender ourselves at his feet. We offer ourselves to him so that he can utilize us as his instrument, provided we are not deviated from our path, our duty, our responsibility as to how we should lead a proper life which Swami wants us to live, so that we can again go back to our source from where we came, fulfilling the task for our life which had been predicted by the Almighty. Now, if I go back to the text of Mama Dharma, it refers to my duty. It refers to my being an essential being. For me to analyze, for me to recognize, and for me to discharge my own duty, for that matter, each one of your duty, responsibility as to how you will lead your life according to your choice, according to your path, because every one of us do not have the same lifestyle, the same circumstances in life. One might be born in an affluent family, getting everything at beck and call, the amenities and everything. At the same time, there may not be people so fortunate to get the same facility, the same assistance, financially or otherwise, in one's life. One has to struggle, otherwise, the other might not. But for the goal for both are the same. The values of Satya, Dharma, Prema, Shanti, Ahimsa are same for everybody. It's not restricted to a particular class or a particular sect or a particular religion or a believer or a non-believer. A non-believer may not believe in God, may not believe in the existence of God, but that doesn't mean that the person can be so authoritative, so autocrat, beaming with self-confidence, with an sense of ego dominating him or her, to forget the core values of life. And now, how can one go on maintaining this core value? By eradicating or by not resorting to the vices. What are the vices? Lust, anger, greed, delusion or attachment, pride, arrogance, jealousy, envy. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsanga. Now, how destructive it can be. What is lust? You're craving for something beyond the valid desire. Everybody has their basic needs, their desires, but it should not be to an extent where you are bound by the shackles that you can't find a way out. Your intellect, your intelligence, your reasoning absolutely gets imprisoned, if I may say. You do not have the freedom to think or to discriminate between what is right and what is wrong. What should be the natural course of action and what should not be. Now, just tell me whatever is happening around the society. There is lack of love. There is lack of understanding. There is lack of mutual respect. Women, children, girls, a 2-year-old baby or a 3-year-old baby getting raped. Can you ever imagine as to the plight, the trauma, the agony, the social deprecation such victims have to face, apart from the injury caused to their body as well as their mind, their conscience? They have to live it. They have to live with it throughout their life. And what about the society? How many realizes that? They subject this girl, or the victim, I must say, to insinuation, ignominy, hatred, isolation, so on and so forth. So is it something one should pursue, irrespective of being a believer or a non-believer? Is it humanity? Is it the right way to pursue one's life? We are envious towards others. A friend of mine is doing good in studies. Okay, fine. She's getting distinction. Fair enough. That person is working hard. Nobody prevents the others to work hard. One has to accept one's own capabilities. That I can do this much. Qualitatively, quantitatively. If somebody is better than me, appreciate that. It will give happiness to your mind. Otherwise, the jealousy, the envy, it's self-destructive. It will continuously breed negativity in a person. It will prevent that person from his or her self-growth. Everybody wants to be happy. Everybody. Now, happiness is something is embedded within you or within me or within us. That is something intrinsic. We need to inculcate that. I'll just give you a very, it's my childish, experience. In our school, we used to have literary hours. So every class had to perform along with the seniors, the juniors, and present a function for the teachers and the parents. So it so happened I was in class 5 and I had very short hair at that point of time. And I looked a bit tomboy. So a girl of class 9 was made to act as a mother for me. And I was to be reprimanded by her for being mischievous, this and that. So the moral which was to be portrayed, that if a child is naughty, doesn't listen, should be taken to task. So on the first day of rehearsal of that skit, I saw that girl. I looked at her and I was not very happy. So I immediately went to our teacher. I said, she cannot be my mother. So the teacher was engaged in other work also. He said, she will only be your mother. Then after 5 minutes, I again went to him and said, she can't be my mother. And just to withdraw me out, he said, then go and talk to sister, because sister has made her your mother. And our principal, Sister Josephina, she was a character we were petrified of. I mean, intimidating. So our sir, he thought I will never garner that gumption or that strength to even go to sister and ask her, sister, why she was made my mother. Nonetheless, I was so stubborn. I went to sister and I asked sister, I took the girl's name. I said, she cannot be my mother. Then sister said, why? What's wrong with her? I said, no, she's not good looking. My mother is very good looking. She cannot be my mother. Sister, for the first time, contrary to her nature, otherwise she would have just, reprimanded me, admonished me to the core, but she didn't. She made me sit and she told me, look, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Howsoever ugly a child may be, the mother takes a child to her bosom to feed the child, and for the mother, the child becomes the most precious thing in her life. So you should not ever say anything like that. It doesn't look nice. It was a lesson learned for my life. So if you see goodness in others, that goodness gets reflected in yourself. When I first came into Swami's fold and used to read the books and everything, once I came across that Swami saying that you see your reflection in others. I did not understand at that point of time as to how I can see my reflection in others. I mean, is it that my face is getting reflected in the eyeballs of another person? Later on, I realized that if you are a good human being, you will see that goodness in you reflected in the person who is in front of you, irrespective of that person being not so good. And if a person is not so good, will not find Otherwise, a good person to be good. So therefore, simply forget that you are in any way incompetent to the others, despite their level of competency. You have your strength, hone that, improve your skill without even thinking of what others are doing. The time consumed by you in being negative, in being thinking as to she's doing best or he's doing better, they are earning accolades, I am not being able to do that. If you concentrate in your own work, feeling happy for the other, the negativity, the vice erodes, eradicates. It gives you fulfillment. It gives you happiness inside, which is a battery recharged, which propels you to do better in life. That's my understanding. That is how I always felt. I was being called an idiot in law college. Why? Because whenever I used to write an answer, if somebody else sitting beside me was not being able to write, I would help them. Okay, fine. If I pass, if somebody is not being able to do that, he or she can pass out. That's the objective, because there is competitiveness, yes, but that should be positive. Your competitiveness, your desire to outdo others should not harm others, should not hurt others. Now, you must be in schools and colleges. You must be very disappointed at times when the teachers do not give you that recognition, that attendance, which is given to others. One of my brother's son came to me one day. He's pursuing law. He told me that the teachers, they have time for others whose fathers are lawyers, established ones. But since my father is not that established, I'm not given importance. I said, why do you breed this in your mind? Did you go to them? You haven't. First, approach them. Go to them. Seek their help. Prepare notes. Give it to them for correction. Unless and until you show your interest in the subject, just because others are getting importance doesn't really help you. Then at least he listened to me. He prepared his notes, went to the teachers once or twice. But on the third time, the teacher couldn't say no to him. Did listen to him. So this mutual respect, mutual understanding is something very important in life. Just because on one day something is not happening, you cannot conceive a notion that it will never happen. It might not be the same. As much as possible, we need to control our senses. Now, anger is in the word danger, right? Swami has said. So it destroys you. Anger, or rather the projection of anger, has two aspects. One is a positive one, the other is a negative one. Now, if you tell me, how can anger be positive? anger can be positive if your intention of expressing your anger has an objective. Suppose in an administrative capacity or in a teamwork you have been a leader. There are people who are so reluctant, lackadaisical, lazy, doesn't want to work. On them, you have to express anger only for the purpose of getting that person to work, so that your responsibility gets discharged without a self-interest. You need to explain to them, you need to make them realize that you are not alone responsible for getting the entire job done. They are also a part of it. As much as you are responsible, they are also responsible. Now, in practical world, if I may say, if you are too sweet, if you are too gentle, yes, at times you are considered to be a very weak person. Your gentleness is equated to your weakness. First of all, be gentle. If that doesn't work, you have to be in such a state when you need to exert your authority. But that authority should not be to the extent of disrespecting others, causing harm to others. Your job is done. Now they are on the right track. Finished. Period. Again, if you are angry on others to subserve your self-interest, your ulterior motive, or for the purpose of vengeance, retaliation, causing harm to others, that is not acceptable. That is absolutely not acceptable. You just get some litmus test done. Forgive somebody who has caused you pain. But don't forget that person has caused you pain. Why? Because you know how the pain had been. You will never, ever, I believe, want to inflict the same pain on others. That is why you should not forget. And okay, I had been a subject of injury, whether physically or mentally. Therefore, I should not cause the similar effect on somebody others. Once you forgive, you start feeling better. The burden goes off. Everybody in our house, in your house, you must be having those garbage bins where you stack the garbages every day, right? And if that bin is not cleared regularly, there's a nauseating stench which pervades throughout your house, the surrounding. It becomes difficult for a person to stay, even to breathe. Similarly, our mind is also like a bin of garbage. If you load it with negativities, with negative feelings, with negative thought, it will never make you happy. It is easy as well as difficult. If you can do it, if you can practice it, it becomes so easy. It becomes a part and parcel of your individuality, your persona, your human life. But yet again, leave it to Swami. We are controlled by our own karma. If you are feeling sad, dejected, distressed, disappointment, you have him. Go and vent out all your feelings at his feet. Today or tomorrow, he will listen to you. The moment you give it to him, it's his responsibility to address. You become free. So this consciousness that I need to be happy. Nobody can make you happy unless and until you strive for your happiness inside. Your inner strength is more powerful. Your willpower is more powerful than any other extraneous circumstances which cannot affect you if you don't allow that to affect you. Once, a person asked me, what do you mean by the word ego? So I said, according to me, ego is edging God out. So once you believe that there's no God, I am the doer, I am what I am the karta, dharta, everything. Fair enough, you are everything. But your being everything should be restricted to something positive. It should not transcend to a certain extent where you have the weapon to cause harm or injury to others. Nobody has given you that license to do it. You can be proud of yourself. Restrict your pride to yourself. And if that pride brings you enormous success in your life without causing harm to others, being dutiful to what you are supposed to do, accepted. The arrogance, the pride in something that you have done for yourself. Have you ever thought that I have done this? I've been given good education. I got a good job. I'm getting hefty sum of money. I'm leading a very good life. Now, what have you given back to the society? From where did you get this? Who has given it to you? Have you seen nowadays these old age homes have come up everywhere? Yes, people on their own volition, on their own will, at their own wish, they can go and stay. But how many mother, father, they are abandoned by the children? Who brought them to life? Who gave them the education? Who gave them their food? Who gave them that proper upbringing so that they are in a position to earn, live a comfortable and an affluent life? Can you ever forget them, or should you? Should that be your life? Now just answer me one question. You have given birth to your child. I have seen many parents, they don't expect. They only expect love. Isn't your duty to look after them if they are not well off. What is this pride all about? What is this affluence? If you forget your source, if you forget from where you have come, how you have reached this level, do you think this element of ingratitude should be acceptable or even nurtured in any way? After my mother left me, there were many people who kind of tried to console me by saying, you did whatever you could. You did your best. And the moment people told me this, I felt they were whipping me. I instantly reacted. I said, please don't tell me this. It is she who has brought me up. It is her sacrifice that made me what I am today, if I am being able to earn. So it's because of her. I'm indebted to my parents, my grandparents. So how can I take that credit of having done so much for my mother, having given the best possible healthcare? This is ridiculous to have even thought of it. They have made you what you are. So you are bound to take care of them. And it is their destiny that they are getting that care. So this I is something very, very dangerous that I am doing. The moment you leave everything to Swami, to your Almighty, to your Guru, you will feel, that brings it a lot of gratefulness in you, which is acknowledged by the highest source. And that acknowledgement of the highest source gives you this propelling strength to move forward. So I am not the one to have done this or done that. There's always a constant source which is giving the strength to everybody, to everyone. And the more positive you become, I can guarantee you, just try it out in your life. The more positive you become, the more helpful you become, it gives you happiness. That inner happiness will give you the strength to do whatever you want to. Because if you're sad, if you're not satisfied with life, you won't move forward. As Swami says, help ever, hurt never. If you can help somebody, help. If you can't help, please don't hurt. You have no right. You can obligingly say that I'm not in a position. How can I do it? I'm sorry. In school, when I was in school, Mr. Gopi did not come with one fact, like I had never been a Bal Vikas student, because I came to know Swami at a later age. I would have been extremely fortunate and happy to have known him earlier. Well, in the Samiti, I had been a part of the Bal Vikas classes once or twice, but I had never been a Bal Vikas student. Nonetheless, I would have loved to if I had got the opportunity. All of you, if you get the opportunity, Combine amongst yourself, form a team, play with the children in such a manner that you can inculcate these values in them productively, constructively. Greed is again something which destroys us. Nowadays, you see these TV serials, they show the women always clad with jewelry, costly saris, and this and that. This too it has a negative effect. My domestic Didi, the one who helps in our work, he constantly says that I need a sari, similar to the one which was worn by such and such character in such and such serial. Now, she must not have that amount of money to purchase the sari. But that is there inside her. Out of greed, so many people are resorting to unfair means. Be it an affluent person or not so affluent person. I did my master's in criminology and penology, where it was taught as to what are the reasons, what might be the probable conditions for commission of a crime. So there is a topic, there is one factor of white collar crimes. Now, who are the persons who commit these white collar crimes? The ones in highest position in the administration, executive, and other such bodies where, you have to get through competitive examination at the national level, at the state level. So it's not so easy. So you can't say that they are not educated. They are not like my domestic Didi. They know everything. But it's their psychology. They are unable to control their greed, their avarice. I have some, I need more. Fair enough. If you have the means in a positive manner, you acquire. Nobody has prevented you. But for that matter, to get more and more and more, if you do something, if you resort to unfair means, what happens? Are you following the right path? You see, in a family, many people live together. They might not have a lot of money, but at the end of the day, when they sit together, communicate with each other, talk to each other, and enjoy the food, may not be something very delectable or palatable, but that happiness and togetherness in sharing whatever modicum they have, whatever paltry sum of money, or else the food that they have acquired for themselves for that particular day, through right and proper means, is something that they're following. That is the path of Dharma. I can again narrate you one incident. It was my brother's birthday, and my entire family from my mother's side had come to attend that birthday. So they would be there from the morning till night and then leave. So my cousins and sisters and brothers, they had their entire dresses for the entire, for the entire day. They got from the car, the taxi that they had hired. And since they had come after a long time, it's like, very happy to meet each other, greet each other. They forgot their belongings in the taxi. And then the taxi driver left after he was paid with his money. After 5 or 10 minutes, everybody came back to their original senses, saying, my purse is there in the taxi. Somebody said my entire bag with dresses had been left in the taxi. And in those days, no mobile. There was, no way to communicate or to even inform the authorities because nobody had written down the number of the taxi. And everybody was sad. Now, what to do? Whom to report? Then discussions were there. After 3 hours, the taxi driver returns with the dresses, whatever belongings, the money in the purse and everything. And when one of my uncle went and offered him something, he said, no, I didn't come here to return you anything against something. If that would have been the case, then I could have sold whatever you had. I could have taken away the money that were there in your purse. I didn't even touch. I didn't even know what is there. So it was a folly and a fallacy on my uncle's part to go and offer him in spite of being grateful and express his gratitude. That person had his liberty, his option, his choice to flee, which is something which is prevalent. But he, being an exceptional character, did not fall prey to that greed. So in a way, this taxi driver is far, far, far better a human being following the path of Dharma, unlike others who would have said, okay, my day is done. I better not go for other trips. Let me go home. So what exactly are we supposed to do in order to merge with Swami? Not only follow the basic principles that he has taught us, but to constantly strive for betterment in ourselves, to be happy and to be peaceful in ourselves. It's easy, it's difficult. If you can do it, if you can ignore these vices, don't fall prey to it, it becomes easy. But if you, for a single moment, give yourself to the spray, I call it, then you are gone. Don't get allured by what recognition, what kind of flourishing career somebody might have acquired or achieved other than obtaining the path or following the path of righteousness. I think you know what I mean. All of you are adults. Refrain from that. You have Swami with you. Seek his assistance. Continuously pray at his feet. I myself in my life have faced many occasions. Some very private I cannot share. But I can share one incident of mine as a student. I used to sit in the library and prepare my own notes. I did not attend a teacher's coaching center because I had this habit of writing down my notes. So the moment I used to write down my notes, it used to become easier for me to memorize. And I did not forget. So I thought it became a practice. So this teacher was very angry with me, which was not to my knowledge. I didn't even know. So when I was pursuing my master's, I had asked him as to how we should write the answers because it was very analytical. Each and every question paper for the years backwards were not similar. It was so tough, the syllabus at that point of time, that one would be in a maze what to study and what not to study. So I asked him that will it be proper to just quote the statutes or to give a comprehensive answer? He said, no, nothing doing. You can quote the statutes and you can learn or you can go through these chapters. It will suffice. But I was a student always afraid of only going through suggestions, So I, in a way, used to read the entire book, maybe some parts in more evaluative manner and the other just bird's eye. At least if a question comes, I can write something. It won't be a blank page. And to my utter dismay, the chapters that he had mentioned did not pose a single question. So later on, I came to know that the teacher was dissatisfied with me because I had not gone to him for taking tuitions. But that did not, or rather could not prevent him from my success in the examination. Many of you might face these kinds of situations. So garner that strength and confidence in you that yes, with Swami willing and Swami by my side, I can do whatever is destined for me to do. I can't go beyond that. Because he knows what is best for me. He knows what I'm supposed to do. So it is best for us all to surrender at his will. I think I have, completed the vices which Swami wants us to obliterate. Of course, attachment is there. Attachment to what? The materialistic way of life, the worldly desire. What does Swami say? Your journey becomes easier when it becomes easier when your luggage is small. Means what? If you can restrict your desires to the minimum possible, which can provide you ultimate, utmost happiness, your journey to merge with him becomes more and more easier. This much as I can say that dharma, according to him, according to Swami, according to us believers, should be a constant endeavor not to resort to these vices. Do our duties to the best of your abilities without causing harm to anybody, without hurting anybody's feelings. Do seva in the minutest manner possible. If you can't help, fair enough, you can't. And being the youth that you are the foundation of the society, you are the future of the country, you are the chosen ones. Align in his divinity. Form teams, irrespective of being competitive in a negative way. Your source should be one. Your object should be one. Collect people. Spread love. Spread happiness. Unite with others so that it helps you and the others too. I think I have exceeded the time, Mr. Ananda. What do I do? Do I continue?
Sorry, ma'am. Thank you. With your permission, we can move into the question and answer session. Brother
Yes.
Mayank will lead us. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you so much, Honorable Justice Ananya ma'am, for such a thought-provoking and self-reflecting session. As a next segment, let's move on to our Q&A session. Brothers and sisters, the ground rules are very clear. आप में से जो भी अपना प्रश्न पूछना चाहते हैं, Zoom में दिए गए hand raise option को click करें.
Sairam, ma'am.
Sairam.
Thank you so much for such an insightful session. And since it is about Dharma, I would like to ask you, ma'am, they say justice delayed is not just justice denied. But sometimes, due to bribes, the court proceedings are delayed, and maybe the justice takes too much time for a victim. So, since you've spent so much time in this field, what would your take be on this?
Now, the question that you have posed is very complicated. Who is taking the bribe? This is one. Now, justice or a judgment to be delivered depends on many factors. It's a teamwork. You have the lawyers, you have the litigants, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the entire proceeding to be completed. If it is a criminal case or a civil case, there are certain points of commonality where evidence needs to be recorded. So there, the presence of witnesses is also very important. right? So if it is a police case, the prosecution is involved, the investigating agency is involved. There are many other institutions like forensics laboratory, the medical institutions for preparation of injury report, post-mortem report, etc., etc. These things are there. So it's not that easy that one day a matter will be filed and on the next day the judgment can be delivered. There are certain procedures enumerated in the statute itself for the entire, from the point of initiation. From the point of initiation means from the point of filing of the case till the evidence is recorded, it is appreciated, arguments follow on both sides, and thereafter a judgment is delivered. Now, madam, it's very difficult to say as to who is taking the bribe. Right? You cannot just say that this person has taken bribe. You have to prove it. Right?
Right.
So, it's better that you don't give bribe.
Yes.
And the other person should not take bribe. That is what I just told you. It's greed on your part to give bribe. If you think you're on the right track, why will you give bribe? Why will you ever feel the necessity to bribe others if you feel that what you have done is right and absolutely you are on the truthful path? You will not. You should be bold enough. You should have that confidence in you to face whatever consequences that might come in your way. So
Yes.
that is Atma Dharma. That is
Right.
Swadharma. That you live by your conviction that I will not give bribe. The one who is giving bribe is equally inculpable with the
Yes.
person who is receiving the bribe. Right? Both
Yes.
of them are to be condemned because both of them are spoiling the society and the institution. Right? So this Atma Dharma or Swadharma that one preaches should also equally practice it. You need to get the job done. Right? That is why you are getting somebody else into that net.
What is the law?
Right?
So
therefore, you never know as to who is doing what, but it's a teamwork. Everyone who is liable to discharge his or her own responsibility as dictated by the statute, if it functions on the right time, it will be done. Like as you said, justice delayed is justice denied. Absolutely. But it is something which is not a one-man show. There are many factors involved. So if the factors fall in place, if each and every stakeholder becomes responsible and liable in discharging their duties, it should not come up to this stage where you are saying justice delayed is justice denied. It should, on the other hand, be justice should be done, and it should be done in the manner it seems to have been done.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yes.
No, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an elaborate answer. This is the last question which we will take tonight. I would request Pammi, brother from AP, to come and ask the question.
Sairam, ma'am.
Sairam.
Sairam, I'm very happy to meet you this through this session, your justice, because I'm also from the same fraternity of legal. I'm an advocate
Okay.
practicing in our court.
Which court?
Tadepalligudi. It's a district court, Your Honor, trial courts.
Okay. Okay.
Just I want to ask one question, Your Honor. What you feel your dharma means? What do you think of it when some judgments came from a Supreme Court which question our dharma? Means some in some judgments they will give that findings that it are against our beliefs, just like in a judgment in Ayyappa Swami temple judgment, or in some other judgments in religious things and some other things. What do you think when some judgments come through Supreme Court, and what do you think of them, Your Honor?
Sir, first of all, you need to know that you are bound by certain legal precepts, certain legal principles, right? You are bound by your professional ethics. As an advocate also, you are bound by the ethics as enumerated in the Advocates Act. You are bound by your professional ethics,
Yes, sir.
isn't it? So if you are an advocate, you are registered under the Advocates Act, so you are bound by your professional ethics,
Yes, sir.
right? Now, you are saying that if Supreme Court passes a judgment which is contrary to one's conscience, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, Supreme Court being the law of the land, right, has the constitutional position wherein their judgments act as precedents.
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Now, just tell me, and I'm asking you, whether a High Court judge can differ with the judgment of a Supreme Court.
No, Your Justice. I'm not asking as a judge. I'm just saying what a simple person, a simple being can question it, because if for even for any simple judgment, not through a High Court, not through Supreme Court, or not through a High Court, in some political discussions also, when we have some vision of some our religion or something, there will be questions. And what is the duty of a simple person, dharma, whether he should question or not? I am asking that whether we can question when a higher authority, not a Supreme Court, higher authority, just like in political or not. Because when we want to follow our dharma, because some people will try
Let me
to
put it
object
very
it.
simple manner. Let me put it in a very simple manner. You are governed by your own conscience.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes? Your conscience tells you what is right and what is wrong,
Yes.
right? Should you be dictated by somebody else if you feel what you are doing is right, maintaining the virtues? As the earlier speaker said, the Sai sister, she said bribe.
Yes, sir.
Oh, right? So should a person give bribe and the other should, simultaneously take the bribe? No. No. So
Yes.
if you feel, sir, if you feel that something is wrong somewhere, contrary, right, to the majority opinion, you don't do that. As long as your action gives you happiness without violating any other's rights, violating the legal precepts. You do whatever you believe in. You do whatever you believe in within the limits. Within the limits.
Yes, ma'am.
Without being a revolutionist. Right? You need not go with the mass. There can be a mass, a conglomerate. Sir, I'm saying hypothetically, there can be a mass, a conglomerate. Right? Pursuing whatever they feel is right. Right? You may not feel that way. Now, if you feel that they have their own self-interest, and that is why they have formed a group, they are a part of the majority who are doing something which is wrong and not acceptable, you segregate yourself. Who has asked you to be a part of it? Similarly, if there is something done in majority which you don't conform to, you be at your own. You be at your own. You should have that confidence in yourself to face the wrath of being singled out. Right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
So similarly, there is a distinction. There is a distinction as to what you can do, as to what you can't do. When you are in a court, don't you cite judgments to the judge?
Yes, ma'am. We will say.
Those judgments are what? In support of the litigants whose case you are ventilating. Similarly, there are other judgments cited against you by your opponent lawyer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, both of you are citing Supreme Court judgments on the
Yes,
same
ma'am.
point of law. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Both of you are citing judgments on same point of law.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So then the judge comes in, applies the discretion, as to which judgment he or she will apply to that particular case.
Yes, ma'am.
And that there lies the dharma to discriminate between the judgments cited by you and by your opponent, to distinguish the cases cited by you to be at tandem with the case in hand or not. Yes,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
believe I could explain it to you.
Thank you, ma'am. You explained you very well. And thanks for your. Sorry if I hurt in any way. Sorry, ma'am. Through
No,
my
it's
question.
not a question of hurt. You need to know, as I said, there has to be a distinction. There has to be a discrimination.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
You somehow cannot be what can I say? I mean, as I said, extremely bold enough to go against the law of the land. Can you?
No, ma'am.
Yes. Expressively you can't. But of course, in the inner feelings by which you are driven, if you feel something is wrong, you will simply back out.
Thank you, ma'am.
You follow
Sairam.
your dharma, which you feel is right to your conscience without hurting or causing harm or to the prejudice of others.
Now, I would like our esteemed convener Professor Yogendra Verma uncle, जो कि हिमाचल प्रदेश के प्रांताध्यक्ष भी हैं, कि वे आएं और अपनी बात को रखें.
Om Shri Sairam. My pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagwan, and my love to all of you, and my respects, regards to Justice Ananya Bandopadhyay. It was really very, very relishing session. I was fully in it. The topic goes with her life story. And you see, in a very simple but sticking to her mom Dharma, that's very important. Well, when we talk about Dharma, normally, like Arjuna, we are confused in our lives. We interpret Dharma not based on our conscience, but based on what is expected, what is worldly success, you can say. And there comes a conflict. God's creation is such, as Swami says, Dharma is dhariyati iti dharma, something which is the base of everything. Everything comes from where? It comes from truth, Sathya. Dharma is not something which is to be taught. Shastras, scriptures were already there when Krishna imparted this jnana to Arjuna. Things were there. But what he made him realize, that what is actually mam dharma, that is your own dharma, which comes from your existence. So from where I have come, who am I, why this body is given to me, and in that body also we have different stages. Like I'm very happy that Madam, she said that her anchor is mother. So driving that energy from mother, from father, from a role model, and there also what you are looking for is the basic truth that mother signifies selfless love. Only love, pure love. So from our sustenance depends on what? If one realizes that, and that what Krishna made Arjun to realize, that your one is Lok Dharma, that as a Kshatriya you have to fight. That is a Lok Dharma. But there also, as Madam told, and very good examples from her practical life, she related and narrated that there comes, every day there comes a conflict. Kauravas and Pandavas are Vidanas. That's what Swami says in Gita Vahini. This fight is going on. And very interesting thing is that from the same good heart, both things flow. On the one side, it is jealousy, envy. On the other side, it is compassion, it is kindness. You can imagine that the source is same. But from there, these two things are coming out. Maybe like, sugarcane. From sugarcane, you get a ras. At the same time, you get a molasses, which is not eatable, not good. So from the same thing, from the same source. But when we unravel, when we try to know, when it is a question of realization, it is a question of practice. And whole talk of Justice Ananya was living it, practicing it. That what Krishna taught him, that you practice, you realize it. you realize until you go within, perhaps you will not be able to know what is my Mam Dharma. In life, you will get opportunity as a young persons, and many of you maybe, spending 16 hours in your office, 14 hours in your office. For success, you have to do that. But many times, what is your hobby? What is your talent? What is your goodness? Something which we are not able to do. So here we have to use our discrimination, as Madam from time to time she has been telling. Conscience, our conscience tells. And once we have a faith that I have been created, I'm chosen, the word she has been using. We are chosen persons. Dharma is there. Without dharma, nothing can exist. But whenever there is a decline or depletion in dharma, then God comes. So Bhagavan came to re-establish, and that is through us. And NLP, all the time we say transformation. So becoming what we are and what Swami expects from us. This was really very, very practical, insightful, and I think understandable to everyone. So, my dear students, always keep this thing in mind. In life, many times we try to compromise with our conscience, and there comes the conflict. Now the whole problem starts. तभी कहते हैं ना कि it is better कि एक चुप तो 100 सुख है. तो बहुत सी चीजों में बहुत सी सिचुएशंस ऐसी आएंगी लाइफ में, and particularly people like us who have seen the whole world, number of conflicting situations will come. But if you stick to your conscience and you learn to say no, you learn to be silent, you learn to be with yourself, well, in long run, you will see what we desire, what we want in life is happiness. And that is sustainable happiness we want. And I think Mam Dharma realize that I am not ordinary being. Yes, Swami always says that, well, you are me, I'm you, I'm in you. So once we have that type of faith, I think nothing can stand in front of sun. The clouds, howsoever thick and dark they are, with the warmth, with the light of sun, they will get depleted. So life is really wonderful, and let us understand and practice this. So every moment you get this opportunity. So thank you very much, madam, for such a really very, very enlightening, very insightful and practical session. Definitely.
Actually, sir, I was told that I will be addressing to the students.
Yeah, there.
So I thought that I might not as well refer to the scriptures,
That's right.
because of what Arjuna and Krishna, Lord Krishna at that point of time had communicated, and the verses in the Gita and all. So I thought maybe I will explain what I believe should be the path to be followed. People might differ with me, sir, but nonetheless, as easier as I could have made it, I tried to, and that too at his lotus feet, and being ordained by him, because that day also I prayed at Swami's
Yes.
Samadhi. I said, whatever you want, you please speak across through me, today also I did the same thing.
Yeah, he spoke
So,
through you.
so,
He
so that,
spoke through you. Swami has
so,
also been very, very simple, like you.
so,
His examples and your examples, very much. Anyway, this was
so
really wonderful session, and all of us
if
have
if
learned a
they
lot.
have anything more to ask me any
Yeah, they will
time,
be passing on questions to you, ma'am.
and if after your busy schedule in this year, if you can organize another meet, I'll be happy to join
So
and
nice.
happy to communicate with them, because they are the future. I mean,
Yes,
they are the chosen ones, because through them only, sir, Swami wants to build his creation. When at
yes,
times I used to feel that this is such a beautiful world, it's his creation. And why all destruction due to war, this, that? And then in my mind, it cropped up like he's the one to create, he's the one to destroy. So if he has destroyed, he'll again create. So we are
yes.
nobody.
Very true. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. Sairam.
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 हमेशा की तरह आपके ज्ञानवर्धक शब्दों के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद वर्मा सर। कार्यक्रम के अंत की ओर बढ़ते हुए सर्वप्रथम मैं हमारे परम ज्ञान सिंधु प्रिय भगवान को धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करना चाहूंगा कि उन्होंने हम सभी को एक और अवसर दिया कि हम एक प्रसिद्ध शख्सियत को आज सुन सके। ऑनरेबल जस्टिस अनन्या मैम, आपका तहे दिल से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि आपने हमें बहुत सारी ज्ञानवर्धक बातों के बारे में बताया। जब आप सेल्फ रिफ्लेक्शन और अवेयरनेस के बारे में बोल रही थी, उस विषय को टच कर रही थी, तो मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था कि मानो मैं कोई सेल्फ मोटिवेशन बुक पढ़ रहा हूँ। आपने बहुत ही सुंदरता से मम धर्म के उन पहलुओं पर प्रकाश डाला जिनका पालन करके हम अपना जीवन स्वामी का संदेश बना सकते हैं और भी ज्यादा सशक्त होकर अपने आसपास की परिस्थितियों को अवश्य रूप से बदल सकते हैं।
एक चीज और मैं बोलना चाहूंगी, एक चीज और, सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट यू, एक चीज मैं बोलना चाहूंगी। ये पथ पे ना, जब आप अपने आप को स्वामी के चरणों में सौंप दोगे ना, बड़ा परीक्षा लेता है। वो परीक्षा एकदम उन्हीं के ऊपर डाल देना है ना। जब वो परीक्षा लेता है ना, उनके ऊपर डाल दो, उनके चरणों में जाके माथा रगड़ के बोलो कि क्यों हमें टेस्ट दे रहे हो, हम तो तुम्हारे बच्चे हैं। अगर टेस्ट तुम दे रहे हो तो तुम ये चाहते हो कि तुम्हारा बच्चा जो है विजयी हो, तो वो रास्ता तुम ही दिखाओ। तो उल्टा ना उनके चरणों में देने का है। तो ये बात भी समझ लो कि इस पथ पे अगर चलना है तो वो बहुत एग्जामिनेशन लेता है। मेरा बहुत ले चुका है, बहुत बहुत। अभी तो हम बोलते हैं कि गिव मी अ ब्रेक नाउ, इनफ। बट you have to be intelligent enough, being his child, to give it back to him. कि भाई आपका ही है, मैं तो आप ही की हूँ, because you claim, you say that you are our mother, our father for God knows how many birth. इस जन्म का माँ तो सिर्फ इस जन्म का है, लेकिन आप तो हमारे जन्मों जन्मांतर के माँ हो, जन्म जन्मांतर के पिता हो। तो भाई हम तो कोई है ही नहीं, हम तो आपके बच्चे हैं। तो आप थोड़ी ना चाहोगे कि आपका बच्चा हार जाए, आपका बच्चा मतलब इग्नोर्ड हो जाए, नहीं ना। तो आपने जो एग्जामिनेशन दिया है, आप ही पास करा लो।
So heart touching. Thank you very much, ma'am. Again, going forward, मैं हमारे दोनों कन्वीनर्स प्रोफेसर योगेंद्र वर्मा अंकल और डॉक्टर गोपी कृष्ण पिड़ितला जी का धन्यवाद अर्पित करना चाहूंगा कि उन्होंने हमें और ज्यादा ऊर्जावान बना के और इस तरह के जो एपिसोड्स हैं उनको लाने के लिए हमेशा प्रोत्साहित करते रहते हैं। मैं आप सभी भाई बंधुओं का और बहनों का विशेष रूप से आभार प्रकट करना चाहूंगा कि आप सबने बहुत सक्रियता से मैडम की बातों को सुना और आशा है कि आप सब लोग अपने जीवन में इन सब बातों को उतार के और ज्यादा बदलाव देख पाएंगे। अंत में मैं सत्संग टीम को
सर, at the cost of being indisciplined and saying sorry to Swami at his lotus feet, I'll take 2 minutes more. Okay? I'll just narrate a beautiful incident. That is, स्वामी ना वो पैम्पर होना बहुत अच्छी तरह से उनको अच्छा लगता है. Let me tell you how. You know, it so happened that I came across clipping in YouTube where Swami was wearing this goggles, sunglasses,
Yes, yes.
and he looked extremely handsome, and I just loved it. So I had a colleague judge who also happens to be a devotee. So I told him that I have forwarded that clip to you. Just go through it. Swami is looking beautiful. He's looking so handsome. In that, nowadays, young generation, they call it, they will use the nomenclature swag, right? The young generation generally use this term to be very stylish and all. So I told him that. So he says, so what? Swami always looks beautiful. I said, true. But, if you see your mother every day, again, when you see her decked up for marriage or somewhere else with beautiful saris, good ornaments, so you instantly get attracted, right? And you start praising her. आप बहुत अच्छे लग रहे हो आज, this, that. तो मैंने उनको ये एक्सप्लेन किया कि वो तो है ही, लेकिन इसमें मैंने वही रूप देखा अलग सा, तो मेरे को और भी खुशी आई. एंड लेट मी टेल यू, मैंने वो फोन डिस्कनेक्ट किया था विदिन अ फ्रैक्शन ऑफ अ सेकेंड. मेरे चेम्बर में मेरे सामने कैबिनेट है जहां पे स्वामी की फोटो एंड अदर गॉड्स एंड गॉडेसेस उनके फोटो है. ऊपर के माले में अंदर की तरफ एक फूल था जो कि 9:30 बजे से वहीं पे था. 1:30 बजे जब मैंने ये बात खत्म की, वो फूल थप से गिरा. आई मीन, इट इज, आई जस्ट कांट एक्सप्रेस. तो इससे पता चलता है कि स्वामी को आप अगर बोलोगे कि आप बहुत खूबसूरत हो, बहुत सुंदर हो, बहुत हैंडसम हो, वो बहुत खुश हो जाएंगे. सॉरी, आई कुडंट कंट्रोल माई सेल्फ टू नरेट from narrating this incident to you. Swami will definitely forgive me for telling you this at the cost of being indisciplined.
That was so sweet, man. Thank you so much for sharing that as well. In the very end, I would fail in my duty if I do not thank much our beautiful Sattvam team for preparing, world-class audio visual, introducing ma'am. And last but not the least, our very own organizing team and IT team for taking care of this session seamlessly. Thank you so much, brothers and sisters. We'll see you in another episode of Sattvam next time around. Stay tuned. Jai Sairam.
समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु. समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु. समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु. शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय.